Well, today's episode is going to be fun for everyone because we're just normally going to do New Japan stuff. So, this is for all the New Japan fan base who ever watches this channel. Now, as you know, we had two shows from them from two different times on two different continents. The first one, as you know, is across the Pacific in the native land of Japan. As you know, New Japan Pro Wrestling returns back to Corkin Hall because we're getting closer and closer to the conclusion of the best of the Super Juniors. However, we'll see who will be eliminated out of the tournament, but who most likely will be far advanced. And of course, we go straight to Long Beach, where we have, of course, New Japan Strong with Resurgence. As you know, we're going to crown a brand new strong women's champion. I'm so excited to see how this one's going to be. And of course, we got the Strong Openweight Championship. Hikuleo makes his first defense against the person he defeated for that title. And of course, we have some interesting matches that are taking place on this particular day. And of course, we got some interesting news updates for everyone to tell about, as you know, what events are being posted out, who's being booked for it, and anything very spectacular to talk about. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Leaded Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to the Leaded Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, let's begin with New Japan Pro Wrestling, which we continue with more of the best of the Super Juniors. As you know, we're getting to the conclusion to the tournament. We're getting thinner and thinner. Basically, it's getting shrinking who is going to be out of the tournament. But however, apparently we announced who's going to be in the final four for the Block A. But as for Block B, that's a little different story. But we'll get to that as soon as possible. So let's get cracking by reviewing each of the matches that took place. Our opening match is part of the A block. We have, of course, Titan versus Doiki. I have to say this was a pretty good match because, A, Titan, he's one of those wrestlers we definitely enjoy to watch. And of course, Doiki, he's now been building momentum as he grows stronger and stronger. But the obvious thing is, people say that because of this particular match, Doiki could last year has ended up with only 6 points. But the obvious thing is, could he break that barrier? I mean, he could have, but however, Titan was able to overturn it when he applied the Llave Immortal, and it was over right from there. Next up, we got our B block. We have Clark Connors taking on Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Now, this was probably a hard-hitting match. Even Kanemaru was smart enough to attack Clark Connors as soon as possible, but the Wild Rhino, as you know, he is vicious, dangerous, but he did apply the no chaser to pick up the win. But the obvious thing is this: could he possibly make it through to the finals? That's the obvious thing. So we'll find out soon enough. Now we return back to Block A, and this one I have to say, you know how this is going to be. We have Sho versus Kushida. Now you know this type of match. When it comes to Sho, you know who's right there, and that is effing Evil, who's there all the time to ensure the show makes it all the way to. But however, that didn't happen. Well, Kushida did try to fight off, but however, apparently the referee was out. That gave perfect opportunity for Evil to make his way. However, Kevin Knight decided to sacrifice himself in order to save Kushida. So it became a very interesting moment to save him from losing to someone like Sho. But it took only the hoverboard lock to put away Sho. And of course, That's the end of Show. Show is out of the tournament, and I'm sure Kevin Kelly's like will probably be saying, "Thank God he's out. He really is a prick." So basically, that's what it would have been. So thank God for Kevin Knight for helping him, but this how it would affect him during his match. Well, we'll get to that soon. Soon. Now our next match we have, of course, back in the B block, Bushi versus Master Wato. Now, as I mentioned, Bushi is already out of the tournament, but we'll see how he finishes. He faces Master Wato. Master Wato, we know he's one of those of talk about wrestlers that definitely should be winning the tournament. He was able to pull it off when he applied the Sukenkaku German suplex and put Bushi away once and for all, and he goes further and further. Now back to A block. We have Mike Bailey versus Ryosuke Taguchi. I have to say this is a very interesting match. Now, you probably would think, okay, Taguchi would have had some good advantage. Now, he did say he wasn't going to pull his pants down like he normally does, but nope. He played his old tricks that he thought would help. I mean, there was a moment he actually thought he made Bailey think that he landed hard on the hard part of the corner side of the ring. Nope, he just played dumb and, of course, allowed Bailey to try to kick him, but he ducked down and Bailey, got hurt or something. He was grabbing, but however, Taguchi was smart enough to go after the leg, but it did not do any well until finally, but Mike Bailey was able to apply a pinfall. He was unable to apply the flamenco driver and the Ultima weapon. So basically, Taguchi was already well prepared for that. So, but however, he was able to pin Taguchi, giving him the win. Now to our B block, we have Dan Maloney versus Robbie Eagles. Dan Maloney wasted no time with Robbie Eagles the moment he stepped foot in the ring. Now, you probably would have thought in your minds, because many people were hoping the Robbie Eagles can go on further and further into the tournament. However, it was Dan Maloney was going really hard on him, bringing that killer instinct until he applied the Drilla Killer, giving him the win. However, even though Dan Maloney is out of the tournament, I think he did pretty well for himself in his first try. Now, our next match, we have Block A. This one, I think this was a very interesting one. We have TJP versus Lio Rush. This is one of those matches you definitely know you're going to talk about it on many occasions. But both these guys are very crafty. What they do, they're very slick, they're very smooth. But how will this apply? You probably would have thought TJP would have had the much better advantage, but Lio Rush has proven how much of a better advantage he has, since he knew exactly what he was going to do until he applied the final hour, giving him the win. Now our next match, I think we go back to B block. We have Yo versus Kevin Knight. Now, how would this affect Kevin Knight? As you know, he did help Kushida earlier until he was dealing with Show and Evil, the House of Torture. However, Kevin Knight did pretty well for himself. He probably would have thought maybe because of his body worn out for helping Kushida. I mean, he did hang on as long as possible, but however, it was already over for him the moment he realized that how do I say, he got hit by the direct drive and Yo picked up the win. Now, because of this match, it was told by Kevin Kelly that Clark Connors, he's already out of the tournament. So basically, because of this win, that he cannot advance further. Now, our next match, we have Taiji Shimori and Hiromu Takahashi. Now, these two are no strangers to each other regardless. We know they have fought back and forth many times. I thought this match was so impressive because Taiji Shimori, he's one of those guys that definitely that this would have been, he would have able to advance further. But however, it didn't go that well. There was a moment where the referee had to stop the moment for the ring and see how Taiji Shimori looks more. He got hurt, so the referee made the choice to make um, this official that it's done. They cannot proceed any further. Hiromu was declared the winner. However, in the aftermath of this event, it was told that he injured his shoulder. Taiji Shimori will miss out a couple of events. Now, there's no telling when he'll be back, but I'm sure he'll be back with a vengeance. That's something we can definitely expect. Now, our main event. This one has been talked about many times. This was a long time coming. We have Francisco Akira versus El Desperado. Now, if you guys remember last year, Francisco Akira was the newest member of the United Empire. Will Ospreay felt that the junior heavyweight division was a mess since he left. He felt that maybe Akira could cleanse it from it, but however, his one goal that he wanted to do is to face El Desperado. He was unable to do that last year, but now it looks like the stars align. Francisco Akira has finally got his opportunity. However, Akira in the last few matches he went attacked his opponent right away the as soon as the bell rang. However, that didn't take well because, as you know, Desperado he is no slouch. He's not the kind of guy you ought to underestimate every single time you step in the ring. This was a hard, full fought by both men. So they even took the fight right outside. But what I did like, Desperado was able to cut off Akira by taking out his knee. That was a very methodical. According to Kevin Kelly, he said he did the same thing to Haramu. So that's kind of obvious. But however, Francisco Akira had that never say type attitude, never gonna quit. So basically, that's what he was doing. But the moment you can tell that Akira's knee was already messed up, there were moments when Desperado had him in numero dos, submission move, the stretch muffler. Basically, he did that many times. Now, TJP wants to throw the towel because he knows he can't get out of it. But however, Despy's like, nope, I'm not going to allow you to throw this towel. Even Francisco had no intention of that. So he tried to show that tough guy attitude no matter what. But once again, he ended up again on dose. And in the end, Akira had no other choice but to say, yes, I give up. I mean, that is the most heart-filling match. I mean, Akira would have loved to been the one to beat Desperado. But however, that is not the case on this one. He felt disappointed, but I'm sure he'll get another opportunity when it rises again. And as for Desperado, as you know, he is one of those wrestlers that many fans love. He is the best of the junior heavyweight division. We're all gonna be enjoying. However, more information has arisen about something else. Now on the hold on, let me pull it up here. On this Tuesday, we're gonna have more of the best of Super Juniors match. The A block has been decided with the final four, I think. We have Hero versus Titan. That's going to be a very interesting match because, as you know, these two are part of the same unit, and that's going to be killer. And of course, we have Leo Rush versus Mike Bailey. We definitely don't want to miss. Now, as for the B block, we know that we have Master Wato and Yo, and I forgot who else is in it. Who else is in? I'm trying to. Oh, let me pull it up real quick. I know I had it here. Nope. I think Matt. Oh, hold on. Yo Maserado and El Desperado, which each reached 12 points. So I don't know how that's going to be with just the three of them. We'll just find out until we get there. So we're going to have the A block have their matches soon, and we'll go from there. But right now, let's end it right here and move on with New Japan Strong with Resurgence. Okay, New Japan Strong Resurgence. This one is at the Walter Pyramid in Long Beach. It's been a while since they've been there, but it's great. Now, they did have the kickoff matches, but I was not basically interested in on that. However, I was more interested on the main event, on the main card. So let's get started with that. Our opening match, we have tag team action. We have Virus teaming up with Bavaro Carvanero. They take on the members of TMTK, Bad Dude Tito, and Zack Sabre Jr. Now, this is the first time these two has ever teamed up. Keep in mind, so that's pretty interesting to see. I thought this was a pretty good one. But however, Zack Sabre Jr. started out with the match against Vitus because they brought a little bit of brought the technical aspect of this match. Now you know that's going to be good right there. Now there have been moments where you probably would have thought in the back of your heads TMDK had this right in the back, but no, Vitus had Bad Dude Tito in a submission, forcing him to tap. And you know deep down by watching this match, you know Zack Sabre Jr. will love nothing more to have a match against Vitus, but also I think the real initiative is the IWGP World Television title. That's something we definitely going to be seeing. Now, our next match, well, two matches, is part of the four-woman tournament for the NJPW Strong Women's Championship. Our first match, we have Stephanie Valkyrie representing CMLL versus Mercedes Monet. Now, I know many fans have thought, okay, Mercedes has this right in the back. That's always been the case. But I think what I did like about this match is how Mercedes Monet has always been one of those wrestlers that knows that she's wants to walk into uncharted waters because she never faced someone like Stephanie Valkyrie. But she took a lot of beating from her, but somehow was able to overturn that, and you applied the moneymaker, and boom, it was over right from there the moment it happened. Now, this next match, I have to say, is one of my favorite ones in this tournament. Willow Nightingale versus Momo Kogo. Now, as you all remember, Momo Kogo not last back in the what was it? At the All Star Queendom, she got injured, and we haven't seen her since then. But later it was announced that she was going to be in this tournament. I think this was a good thing for her because those who do know or don't know, Momokogo is bilingual. She knows how to speak English, but she also knows how to speak Spanish in case anybody asks. But it was great for her. But I think this match was pretty amazing. I mean, we have seen her develop a lot, and I think this is where she put up a good match on this one, a good performance. I think many fans would have loved to seen her go to the finals, but unfortunately she ended up being on the wrong side of the Dr. Bomb by Willow Nightingale, and she advances. And I think many fans were expecting this one. But we will get to the finals on that one in a bit. Now our next match is a street fight match between Juice Robinson, Fred Rosser. Now how did this thing came to be? If you guys remember clearly, Juice Robinson cost Fred Rosser the strong openweight title when he lost to Kenta. So basically, he began a feud, but Fred Rosser took it even further when he decided to mention Juice's wife, telling her to bring her around. And then all of a sudden, they were supposed to have a match. It went berserk. Juice Robinson attacked him from nowhere, and then, of course, costing Fred Rosser during the match for the number one contendership tournament for the IWGP United States Heavyweight title. But this match was going berserk. Like Fred Rosser was becoming more dangerous in this particular match. But out of nowhere, we saw Toni Storm. She blowed Fred Rosser. But I don't know if Fred Rosser took a page out of Rocky Romero because he's done this before. He was wearing a cup. He didn't see that one coming. Of course, Juice actually used that. So Fred Rosser had to deal with two people in the same ring, despite the fact the match was a street fight. He held as long as possible until Toni Storm hit him with, I think it was a glass bottle or something, and of course, Juice applied the swing out DDT, and it was over right from there for Juice. So the obvious question is this finally over between them or what? We'll see what happens then. Now, while they're cleaning the ring, this happened right after. Kyle Fletcher, who was not scheduled to be there, no one knew why he was there. He announced that Mark Fletcher injured himself. Aussie Open is unable to defend both the IWGP Tag Team titles and the Strong Openweight Tag Team titles. So they had no other choice but to relinquish the titles. However, he did mention for Dominion, the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team title. The titles will be decided between both the House of Torture, Yujiro and Evil, to take on Bushiman, Yoshihashi, and Hiroki Goto. So that is something we definitely can see. But we know Aussie Open will come back with stronger, better than ever. But we'll see what happens. But don't forget, we know that this coming to Wednesday, Kyle Fletcher will be in action to take on what's his name, Orange Cassidy for the AEW International title. Now let's move on to our strong openweight title match: Kenta versus Hikuleo. I thought this match was so brutal. Now, this match did not even begun one way or another. Kenta, who is trying to be a bit more smarter to find ways to win, regardless, he decided to take this match outside, however possible, to soften up Hikuleo, despite of his height. However, while things could go differently for anybody. I mean, chairs were used, tables were used. Hikuleo was put through a table when he was sent over. However, because of that, Kenta was able to regain the strong openweight title. However, he received a surprise video message from none other than the Mad King himself, Eddie Kingston. So basically, he's now issuing the challenge. And of course, Kenta, bring it on. I think that's what many fans were expecting. Now, our next match, we have a very interesting six-man tag match. We have the members of the Blackpool Combat Club, John Moxley and Wheeler Yuta. They team up with none other than the Roughneck uh, Shuta Umino. They take on the members of Chaos, Rocky Romero, Tomohiro Ishii, and Kaguchika Okada. So you probably thought in your minds this was going to be interesting. I have to say it did. Now Okada did not want to get in the face of a Shota Umino, but sooner or later they had to do this. I mean, there were plenty of moments where you thought this match was already over right from the get-go, but it was Shota Umino who applied the Death Rider onto Rocky Romero, giving him the win. So the obvious thing is now who will be the third partner with Shota Umino and John Moxley. That is something we don't know. But if I was a betting man, I would say take Wheeler Yuta since he is familiarized amongst you know uh the New Japan fan base. I would love to see that come about. Now our next match is the number one contendership tournament. As you know, recently I did mention Lance Archer won the one they had with Fred Rosser in Philadelphia. Now this one, whoever walks out will face um, Lance Archer for the titles. Now this is for the IWGP United States Heavyweight title. Will Ospreay versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. Now Will Ospreay, as you know, he wants to take back the belt that he lost to Kenny. He's looking for ways to redeem himself from that particular loss. I have to say this was a pretty good match. I mean, despite Tanahashi being a veteran for someone his age, he stood there because he knew he was getting himself into. But however, it was Will Ospreay with the Stormbreaker that allowed him to win, and he advances. So he will be facing Lance Archer. But Lance Archer, I don't think he gives a damn about anything. All he wants is the title himself. So we'll see how that plays out. Now our main event is for the NJPW Strong Women's Championship. This will determine who is going to win. I have to say it was a pretty good match. Will Notgill was giving a great movement between with Sasha Banks. However, there was a moment where you can tell that maybe that Sasha Banks might have hurt her ankle. There was moments that she had to be more careful not to make any movement. But however, there was I think a moment. I think many people saw this. The referee kind of messed up. I think the idea was they were supposed to expect after the Doctor Bomb, Sasha Banks was supposed to kick out. But I mean, Mercedes Moné was supposed to kick out. I'm not sure if that was the case, but it just I'm like, okay, why the referee stopped? But they decided to try again and see what happens. Of course, Will Anangel became the first inaugural, how to say, the strong women's champion. However, as for Mercedes Moné, there was videos that they showed her she was being carried out. Sumi Sakai was right there, so we don't know much about what's gonna happen. But if there's anything going on, we'll find out. Hopefully she's okay. Hopefully she gets back and better. We don't know if she'll be making appearances with New Japan or Stardom anytime soon, but if there is, I'll let everybody know. I think that's pretty much it now we have for these two. So I have to say, let's move on with some news updates. Okay, welcome to our news update. So this is what we have now. This was announced during the Resurgence show. I thought I'd put it here for everyone to hear. New Japan Strong will be heading to Japan at Korakuen Hall on July 4th and July 5th. Now, this is a very interesting thing to see. Now, the New Japan Strong is normally it's an American-based shows they do here in the States. However, going to Japan, that's going to be very interesting. The name of the title, of course, is Independence Day, since we'll be celebrating American independence in Japan. So that's going to be a very interesting thing to see. Don't know yet what's going to be the card, but as soon as we get closer and closer to that, I will be making the updates on that for everybody to find out what's been going on. Now, moving on. This wasn't made official yet by GCW. Uh, a friend of mine who actually works as a ref here in my native town of San Diego, California, announced this, that GCW, if you guys are part or any fan base anywhere living here in the San Diego area or Tijuana, GCW will be making their way to, of course, Tijuana, Mexico on August 13th. Now, we know they have done trips down in Tijuana, in Mexico before, but Tijuana, I don't think they ever done. That's going to be interesting to watch. So we'll see what happens. Now, for our next update, Spark Yoshi Producer of America has announced for the Ignite East. Hold on. My note's a little fuzzy here. Okay, yeah, okay. For our Ignite East event taking place for Spark, Danny Moe will be making her appearance. This one's on the 11th of June in Newark, New Jersey. So if any subscribers are from that area, go check it out. Now, finally, if you guys remember, not too long ago, GLEAT, as you know, has two titles: the G Rex title, which is the top title, and then there's the G Infinity, the tag titles. However, they did announce they were going to do another title, which is called the UWF Championship. Basically, this is more of those that brings in a bit of like the MMA style of the promotion. They just unveiled the title recently. Now, as soon as I'm done here, I will show that picture for everyone to take a look at. But until then, we'll see how that turns out. They haven't announced when that match will take place. I know Takanori Ito is in it. I forgot who was the other winner. But I think it's Shinya Aoki. I'm not sure. I cannot remember. But we'll see what happens. But for now, I say let's just call it a day. All right. Well, I don't know how, as you know, Monday is a very special day for me mostly, because those who don't know is of course my mother's birthday. I'm not sure exactly how this is gonna be. This is what I planned out with my mom and the rest of my family to celebrate my mom's birthday. Myself, my mom, and my brother, we made decisions to go see Fast 10. And of course, we'll be having dinner at our favorite restaurant spot. But afterwards, hopefully, I get to see what other ones. Cause I'm a little behind on both Stardom and GCW events. Uh, but we'll see how that goes. I'm just gonna wing it since we don't have AEW Dark Elevation anymore. But we'll see what happens. But if I'm unable to do that, um, we'll just jump into Tuesday Wrestling or so. But that'll be interesting to see. But we'll get to that. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.